What's going on, everybody? This be your boy DJ Anonymous with Sports Biz Music, the podcast, episode 99. And I got a special guest on the show. I got my boy Appel Jax, man. How you doing, dog?
It's good, chilling, bro.
So, before we get into the questions and everything, like, you know, give like a little introduction to the people that may not know you.
Okay. Let's see how we should start here. I mean, basically, I'm a creator.
Right.
You know, I like to create from all aspects of like art. You know what I'm saying? Like my brain just works in ways that like basically creates things from nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if we having a conversation, like in the back of my mind is sparking something else. Like, yo, actually, this would be dope if we did this. You know what I'm saying? So I started out, you know, as a shorty loving hip hop and wanting to make music and wanting to be a producer and rapper and all that shit.
Right.
And I had a little group when I was in high school. I put a demo out.
Right. What was the name of the group?
It was called 5 Feet.
That's what's up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We were both kind of short.
Yeah.
So we were like, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was tiny in high school. I looked like I was a baby.
Yeah.
So we put like a little demo out, and it was cool. Like, you know, you don't really understand what you need to do, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's just what I always been kind of like shy and like kind of like camera shy and shit like that. So I know I always like had a problem like rapping in front of people.
Right.
I was ill with my pen and I could do it great in the studio, you know what I'm saying? But like performing and shit like that and being like, it's just never really been my thing. So I kind of like fell back and I started making beats and shit.
Right.
And from us not knowing producers and not having no beats, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I'm gonna figure out a way. And I started making beats and shit like that. And I produced a couple artists along the way and put out little, projects here and there. From there, I'm like, we started entering into the social media world. You know what I'm saying? I think it was MySpace at the time.
Yeah, MySpace. Yeah, I remember MySpace.
Right. And I was like, I'm seeing like bigger artists. I'm like, damn, they got some fly ass shit, you know? Like, we need that. So he's like, yeah, we ain't got no money. I'm like, all right, cool. My credit has always been pretty good.
Right.
For some reason. And that's, you know what I'm saying? The Jewish in me. I was blessed. Yeah. And I went to go get a card from Best Buy and I got approved and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna buy a camera.
Right.
And everything I've learned in my life, never went to school for, no formal training, just passion and like pick it up. Me being a Virgo and shit, like
it's the earth sign thing. I'm a Capricorn, so we work hard.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like everything that I learned, like that I want to do, I learn it, and to be able to like know it enough where I can have a conversation about it and like master the shit. You know what I'm saying? So like, I could do a number of things, like, you know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I got a camera, started shooting some pictures, and we're like, fuck it, let's shoot a music video. And this is like 2009.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and whatever, we started shooting some videos, and I'm like, it's weird because like the money that you make from selling music or trying to be a producer, a local producer, whatever, is kind of slow. You know what I'm saying? That was like during like SoundClick days.
Yeah, SoundClick. Yeah,
remember that shit?
Yeah, I remember that. That's old.
So like, people used to put their beats on SoundClick, selling for like $25 or whatever the price is. And I'm like, that ain't really my vibe. Like that's kind of like water. I don't like to water shit down. I like to keep my
quality.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the reasons why I don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to keep it where it's like, damn, that shit's ill. Yeah, but I'm not in your face all day long. You get tired of me. You know what I'm saying? Right. So from there, I picked up a camera and I'm like, I started making some money, like shooting little shit for like little local artists and shit. I always been like on some like, I know how to cut hair. Like I used to have cats come to the crib, I cut their hair. I know how to cook. I worked in, you know what I'm saying? I always like found a way to like. My old girl worked a dead-end job, you know what I'm saying? Like dead-end 9 to 5, so there was nothing for me if I ain't go get it. Like I bought my own car when I was 16, shit like that, you know what I mean? So basically, once I picked up a camera, I started making money. And I always loved like imagery and like movies and like films and shit. And like when I was like mad young, I used to have a neighbor. He was like 16, I was probably like 9. You know, he was like a teenager and shit. I used to look up to him, like he was cool, you know, on the street. And he was like, yo, you want to go see a movie? We're like, all right, cool. It was like 1993. And we went to see Menace to Society.
I was 1 year old.
Yeah,
bro.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And we went to see Menace to Society. And like from that day, like my mind was blown. Like how ill the movie was. You know what I'm saying? How real. I felt that shit was so real. Like, for mad long, all I ever wanted was a 5.0 Mustang. Right. You know what I'm saying? Until I got older, I'm like, oh, that car's whack or whatever. But like, so from there, you know, I always kind of had a creative sense. And I started making bread off the camera, and I kind of fell back off of music for a while, but I'm still dealing with artists and shit, and I just started getting jiggy with like that, you know, taking pictures, doing little photo shoots, learning, you know, until my shit got better and better, and here we are, whatever.
So, like, what inspires you, like, to, you know, just really to get into music and just really, like, all right, after the music, I want to be a creative, like, I want to take photos and stuff. Like, what was that moment? Because you talked about the menace to society moment, but what was that moment as you got older that you was like, man, I'm finna do this?
Well, first and foremost, I always knew that a regular 9-to-5 job was not for me. Ever. Right. Like, I always knew that. Like, I've had every job you could think of. Mm-hmm. Like, straight up. Like, I've cut lawns, worked in restaurants, worked retail, worked everywhere, every kind of way to make money. I delivered food. I was a dishwasher. You know what I'm saying? You could go down the list. I done did it all. Only thing I never did was work at fast food place. Right. But so I knew, like, yo, I need to eventually create something. You know what I'm saying? And I always was creative, like whether it was like trying to make music or like just drawing or whatever. And I'm not that good of a drawer. You know what I mean? But I always liked to create, and I always found a thrill of creating. Right. And once my basketball dreams faded, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really, like, got on my artsy shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, just, it was not really one moment. I was a teacher for mad long, and then I was, like, shooting videos and, like, doing photo shoots, and, like, I know how to make websites, and I just taught myself everything, you know, any way to make extra money. And I told myself, I'm like, yo, this job is cool. Right. Like, the schedule is great, the pay is great at this point in my life. You know, I'm young, whatever. But I'm like, this clocking in for somebody.
Ain't where it's up.
You know what I mean? And like, I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna take a leap, which is sometimes it's hard to do. You know what I'm saying? But I just jumped out the window, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna do this shit full time. And that was like 4 years ago. You know what I mean? And from that point, you know, it started off slow because at the, you know, when you got a job and you doing shit on the side, it's gravy. Like, you make an extra stack, extra couple 500, whatever.
Yeah, put it in your business.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you ain't got that every week check that you're going to get, now it's serious because you really got to get clientele and pay your bills. Like, I lived on my own for mad long, you know what I mean? Right. So, you know, just took off from there and built up some clientele and shit like that, and just that's where we at. I think one of the things, like, you know my boy Hoodie, little bro Hoodie, the
trying
rapper.
To get that man on the show though. I've been following him for a long time.
Yeah, that's the bro.
To me, he's gonna be that artist from the crib that's gonna be like B.
Yeah.
That was a B.
Yeah.
Got a B.
Yeah, I ain't with it.
But I feel like Real Hoodie, he gonna be the next.
No, he is. He's gonna be ridiculous. He is ridiculous. He's gonna be huge though. Yeah. So we wrapping up his project right now. We work hand in hand. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, what?
We work hand in hand, like.
I
yeah, we're the same. Yeah, I do all his shit.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'll holler at him.
Please holler at him, cause like he it's like he one of them few artists where I'm really like, bro, like come sit down and like.
No, he's the man.
To him and stuff like
he's a man. He's a little bit younger than you, and you know, just a brief background on him. Like when I first met him, we from the same area. Right. So I didn't know that, but he was like on a set on a shoot that I was doing, and he just came with somebody just randomly, like his cousin or some shit who you don't never be with. Right. Like I ain't never seen him again since that day. You feel me? Just divine intervention right there. Yeah, right. I was about to say that. And I met him and I started talking to him, and he's like, I'm from N&B, and I'm like, you from N&B? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm from N&B. He's like, nah. And then we talking for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, yo, this kid is smart. Right. Because I don't really fuck with too many people, excuse my language, but like,
no, you can.
I don't really mess with too many people that like don't got a head on their shoulders. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a waste of time. It's like, it's not for me. You know what I'm saying? I wanna grow and learn from shit. Right. So we just hit it off. I'm like, whatever. Ever since then we've been rocking. But I say that to say, like, I was in a past relationship for a couple years, and it was kind of like draining, you know what I'm saying? And like, you know, it is what it is. The relationship ended, and from that point on, like, he was working on a project that I was helping him with, and he kind of like really, without even knowing, like, me having him as a tool really grew my shit and really like helped me hit the ground running, because he knew a lot of people, he was making moves and people mess with him. So like, I'm doing all his content, you know, production and photos and videos, and graphics and all that shit. You know, we be in certain circles, and he is exactly, if he wasn't an artist, he would be the best manager. Right. Because I go in the room, like we were talking about earlier, I go in the room and I'll be like this. You know what I'm saying? Quiet. And he'll go in the room and introduce himself to everybody. Right. Yo, what's up? My name's Hoodie. Yo, you know my boy Appel Jax? Yo, you know my boy Mello? Yo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he crazy with that shit. So that's like brings mad opportunity. And then they see his shit. They're like, yo, who did it? Boom, boom, boom. You know. But so ever since like we really started hustling, you know, that's really fueled a lot of the fire.
Yeah, because I seen him on he had Sway was down here. I see his freestyle. Him and Nikio.
I know all them boys.
King DY felt like
they just did a project together. Actually. Yeah, like
Hoodie and DY. Oh, for real? Yeah, they did like
a joint project.
It's out already.
No. It's the producer who produced the whole thing. I kind of like helped just like creative side, but like the dude who did all the beats, Neri Beats, he's dope. That's my boy. They putting it. It's done, recorded. They about to like work on the cover, which I'm gonna probably end up doing and putting it out. It's fire though.
Man, you don't understand, like,
fire.
You was helping a new wave come out from the crib.
Right.
Like, it's a backpack rappers, you know what I'm saying? But it's more like we need that.
100%. We never had it. Never had it. That's why like the shit is changing. Yeah. There is some like a whole new generation of actual dope artists. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the music, that project is fire. Right. And when you hear Hoodie's new shit that we about to release, like, I literally made sure this shit is crafted. You feel me? It's not just like a whole bunch of songs that just have no cohesion. Like, no, this shit is gonna feel like it's gonna feel like crazy. Like, we got big songs, we got like deep songs, you know what I'm saying? All kind of shit.
Yeah, because people got to realize, you know, as millennials, I always go back to like the 2000s where you had the East Coast, the West Coast, you know, down here, the Midwest. You had Caribbean music, you had everything, like how it is right now. Yeah. Everything was mashing up, so it was like, with us, we grew up listening to the Jay-Z's, to the Scarfaces, to the Ice Cubes, to the Outkast, to the Biggies and stuff like that, and Eminems and stuff like that. So when you hear like the sound, especially in artists today, like you can hear, oh, she sound like Missy Elliott, or he sound like Common or something like that. You know, like you could hear like
all day.
Everybody listen to everybody. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's up, man.
Sounds changed though, because like we said earlier, like the New York cats sounded like they from down south. Yeah. This cat sound like you can't really tell the difference between people's music anymore. Like you could hear a little bit. There's a little like some West Coast shit still has a little like funk in it, you know what I mean? And like for the most part, but sound like hip hop nowadays and music in general, like it don't have no regional sound anymore. Like shit used to sound like where you from.
Like you knew where you
right away. Like you hear a trick that you understand, you know what I'm saying? Outkast sound like they from Atlanta, like Wu-Tang and Nas sound like New York. Like now the shit is just like meshed.
And honestly, I do kind of miss that. Like I always go back, like listening to Wu-Tang. Like I've never been to New York yet, so like whenever I hear like the Wu-Tang, like Raekwon and them, I'm like, damn. Like I can see the picture of New York when I hear. Even when I went to LA, and I seen it, but I remember when Ice Cube and
you could feel that shit. When you get there, you're like, oh shit, I do miss that. I do really miss that. I miss, like, I think as much as people are different, the kids are different nowadays, like anything goes. I feel like in the middle of that, we lost individuality.
Right.
As much as people are their own self nowadays, which is crazy because you could go out and you see a dude wearing like